Hello and welcome to Rapid Way. My name is Estelle Melu, and today we're bringing the spotlight on Itoro Ugorji. She's one whose dedication, leadership, unwavering passion to close the care gap for women and families is truly inspiring. She's the founder of the Baby Lounge. And so today we'll have conversation with Itoro. Let's find out what inspired her and how has the journey been in trying to close the care gap for women. It's a pleasure to have you here. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
You are welcome. So let's start with you introducing yourself. I know I've done that, but I mean, it's good to hear from you.
So my name is Itoro Ugorji. I'm the founder and chief executive officer at the Baby Lounge. The Baby Lounge is a provider of innovative and practical childcare solutions that address the pain points of mothers of infants, toddlers, and young children in the area of childcare. Now, we typically say that our target audience is our primary audience is working moms. And working moms, the definition of working moms in our context would include moms in the workforce, 9 to 5, moms who run their own businesses, and stay at home moms because they all need that care support.
Before we get into the baby lounge, the idea behind the baby lounge, talking about what you were doing.
So I have working experience in the banking industry. So I worked in the banking industry for a couple of years, number of years. And my experience as a mom while working is what largely inspired the vision that has evolved to become the baby lounge. So challenges with childcare and mom related, though understandably we were quite particular about the care for our son when he came, and I had no intentions of stepping out of paid employment. So that brings me to some part of the mom guilt that moms that struggled with, opinions from others and about when they should truncate sometimes otherwise promising careers to stay at home. I think a mom should be able to decide when she wants to take those kind of decisions, right? It doesn't make you a bad mom. I always say just get the support that you trust, the support that is reliable, um, and you can thrive as a mom. You really can thrive as a mom.
So you waited and you when you had your child, what was that gap that you saw? What was that thing you saw that made you know what, I want to set up this organization called the Baby Lounge?
So there were a number of gaps forming. And so as a mom, a working mom at the time, I wanted a daycare or childcare service that was in close proximity to my office. Now, there are moms who want daycares in close proximity to their homes, right? I wanted one close to my office that had lactation facilities so I could go in and breastfeed or express. I wanted one that had paid breakfast and leave purpose because I worked for extended hours. So I wanted a daycare facility that met that need. Okay. Because what we found at the time was daycare facilities that would close at about 4. And about 4, I'm just getting started with work. So we ended up paying the late pickup fees, daily because we were always picking, the baby at 6 or after 6, right? I think it's important to have, daycare facilities that catered to moms who had that need. Now I wanted daycare facilities too that didn't go on term breaks, for example, because moms don't go on term breaks. So if you had a daycare facility that closed for Easter, that closed for summer, it's very disruptive Now, because that may just not be the time a mom is taking her leave at work, right? So she now has to start looking or looking for alternative arrangements all over again. So also wanted, we're looking for daycare facilities that had personnel that were trained in childcare, right? We wanted people who were educated. We also wanted, people who were skilled and who were passionate and who totally loved the job. You could tell, right? I'm interacting with the team that takes care of your children. And um we wanted facilities that were taking care and paid attention, that had very high, standards of hygiene and health and safety. So I think that having a child, right, a baby, as a working parent, opened my eyes to those, those standards. And those were the gaps that we were looking to fill, setting up a baby lab.
And how would you describe what has happened, setting up the baby lounge? How would you describe your journey? The reception from perhaps parents, nursing mothers, how would you describe it?
Hmm. Hmm. I think um, perhaps the parents would give better feedback. But from my experiences interacting with the parents, right, it's a lifesaver. Now, over the years, the service has evolved into several models. So it had gone beyond just brick and mortar. So we have services like the in-home child minding, where we have minders who go into homes. It's a stop-up child care arrangement in your home. It is a service that is a solution to emergency child care needs. So your household runs out on you, your nanny runs out on you don't keep nannies, um, you just want supervision over your nanny, and you also have complaints support for that. We have recently the Omugo plan. These are all in-home child minding sub services, right? Now you just want childcare for a couple of hours, a couple of days, a couple of weeks, a couple of months. This is the service that meets that need. Now, at the back of our minds, when we design services like this, is to ensure that moms are not stranded and moms get childcare anytime and anywhere they require. That is also the reason why we have services like the hotel babysitting. So you're coming from out of town for work and you don't want to drop off your child at a crash. You book a minder and the minder comes to your hotel. We have the event pop-up crash. You're having an event. Most moms are constrained, childcare, and are unable to attend events that would otherwise change their lives forever, right? Or influencing. They don't get to go for those events. Now, the event pop-up crash is a mobile setup at all kinds of events. So moms can drop off their kids and focus on the events. Now, we typically do not charge the moms. We work with the event owners. So if you are vested in the welfare of women, it should be a no-brainer when you're organizing an event for women. It drives traffic to your event, right? And it just tells your audience that you are family oriented and you truly care for the welfare of moms and women.
You know, it's really beautiful what you do. Now, the first time I met you, interestingly, was at the Garden Road Festival. And the part that really caught my attention was when you guys are talking about well-being and care for women, and you made mention of the Omugo plan. What have you learned in your years of organizing what you do now? What have you learned about women? What have you learned about parents in general, or maybe women in particular?
I think that I think I was a man making the statement so that I wouldn't sound biased. But I think that women do so much and are burdened and are almost crushing under the burden of care. And that care, unfortunately, that load that women carry is largely invisible. So it is unpaid and it is invisible. Now, because they have carried this load so graciously, it has become the norm, and no one thinks that they need support. And when they call for support, it appears like they are not capable. And I think that women, especially moms who are grappling with parenting and building a career or building a business, because often when we talk about childcare, people erroneously focus on women in the offices. Now, entrepreneurs need childcare. You're having a meeting that you need to go for, you're having a sales pitch, whatever. You have to be in your store. You don't have to have your child, all over the place, right? Which is very distracting and could be very draining too, right? So it is not just the moms in 9 to 5. All moms who have young children need that care support. And again, it is not for a certain class, you know, high income, middle income, low income need support.
So I'm going to ask you, with everything you do, right? It's really profound. What's that thing you want to be known for? If I should mention Itoro Ugorji, if I should mention the baby lounge, what is the first thing that should come to my mind when I think about you, when I think about the baby lounge?
The preferred child care provider, child care that gives you peace of mind, a reliable support system for working moms of infants, toddlers, and young children. Now, our service promise is childcare that gives you peace of mind. So we are fixated or almost paranoid about putting together experiences that will deliver on that promise. So the mom has to be happy, the children have to be happy and thrive. Now, it is so fulfilling to see a child who comes to you at school once and comes back to you or stays on with you till they are 10. Now, over the years, we have managed to extend the life cycle of our customers. So we have the infant room, the toddler communities, now the kids leave for the big schools, right? They graduate when they are full. And they come back for after school services. So when the parents need after school support, they come back for homework assistance and tutoring. And they come back for care. But because we are open all year round, we don't go on time breaks. We only close on public holidays because moms are looking, when they are time breaks, school time breaks, moms are looking for childcare for their children. Right? So it's so fulfilling to see a child who came to you home, babbling, and is holding very intelligent conversations with you is the most fulfilling thing ever. And to have a mom say to you, it is because of you I didn't fix my job. It's priceless. It really is priceless. Now, we've had a lot of moms who, first time moms especially, people, when we talk about separation anxiety, people think only about the children. Mothers suffer from acute separation anxieties. For a number of them, it's the first time they're getting separated from the babies. When they have to drop off those babies and resume for maternity. So we have moms who sit at the bucket area and boy, hmm,
CEO of the baby lounge. What you're doing is extremely tasking. In those moments when you question yourself, if you ever do, as human we do at times, in those moments where self-doubt cripples in, what keeps you going?
the fact that I've impacted lives. And I need to break that down because that's so blanket and almost vague. So it's not just the mom that are able to thrive because of the service that I provide, the moms that are able to climb up that ladder in their careers, the moms that are able to grow their businesses, and the mom that is able to come up for air because I came in just on time to provide a service here in the hospital. You probably would never have imagined um, that a mom would call and say, my child has given an admission and I've been with this child for so many days. I just need a bed. I don't have family around. I just need, is it possible to have childcare? Should we step in? The young woman out there who has a job in childcare because the baby lounge exists and can earn and is financially independent and can support and provide for her family and can make a living for herself. That's what keeps me going. It is extremely challenging to run a business in this environment. You're constantly swimming against the tide, constantly. But when you run a service that is relevant, that is valuable, now, if I had to test the service, I did actually test the value of the service. Unknowingly, we sent a message to a communication to parents to say that we're going to be closed for a day or two. The uproar, you can't do this. I would be stranded. I had to go to work. There's nowhere else to keep my child. If we did not understand how critical our service was, that was one moment that we did understand. I think that we have now acknowledged that our service is an essential service, just like medical services.
So I know you've made mention of the challenge. You're always communicating the time. But I want us to emphasize just talk about them a bit. Because as much as you know that it's an essential service, what are some of the challenges that you face? I know that setting this up will be capital intensive, but talk to us about the challenges though.
Okay, so what people would generally call funding, right? Um, would you a challenge, and that speaks to the setup that you just described, capital outlay, and the initial it's capital intensive, and the initial setup is capital intensive, and we over the years we found a way around that, and that was how we came up with the opt purchase. Now with the office space model, really it's low, very low capital outlay, and because the corporates bear the bulk of the cost, and they carry the cost of the brick and mortar, the setup, the assets. We basically just bring on our expertise. So it's just a staffing cost that we can reach the office, the corporate pay for anyway. So, that is one of the most profitable childcare models that we have.
So I know you mentioned that you run all through the year except during holidays, public holidays, if I'm not mistaken. Who takes care of the person that takes care of the child? Who takes care of you? Who takes care of the staff? I want us to have a bit of a conversation about that.
So I could answer the second question. We take care of the staff. Probably, you know, I will come back to it takes care of me. You know, if it is not rocket science that we need to treat our staff well so that they can be happy during this job, it is intense. The work we do is intense. You're literally immersed in the work that we do, right? And you're emotionally invested. When the children graduate, we are all crying because there's already a bond. The kids are fine, we're fine. Because we did not realize that over the years we bonded with the student. Let me tell you the extent. We see a lot of the milestones. We see the first walk. We see the first call. We capture them in videos and share with the parents. The children spend so many hours with us. So we truly understand. We see those growth spurts. We see the changes, right? We experience the emotional highs and lows. We cry and laugh together. It's a whole lot, right? It's much more than and it's much more than nanny care. Now, so we have incentives or a an employee welfare structure. We're very intentional about keeping our people not just happy but comfortable, right? So we have the staff lounge, we provide accommodation, we have HMO in place for the diesel, right? Of course, separate from the annual leave, right? Any opportunity to pay allowances, we pay. So the in child minding, for example, the weekend care service, right? The staff are paid allowances for the mobile crashes. It's not part of your salary. So the truth of the matter is that there's hardly any staff that goes on with their salary at the end of the month. And we've been privileged to have amazing parents who support us to appreciate the staff. So you have staff to go, for income mining duties and they return with $100, £100, 20,000, 50,000. Now we have a policy to um we tell our staff to work the word again to the get. Now the intention is not to take away your those extras that the parents do, right? It's just for us to acknowledge so the parents know. And once you declare, you acknowledge and appreciate and thank the parents. It feels a long way to um not just incentivize the staff and it boosts morale. They are so sometimes we have feelings say towards I come in and have 7 and I see your people still smiling. It moves us. In what goes also that's doing. That's
Who is that one person that you would say that inspires you?
my husband. And he's the one who takes care of me. My husband truly inspires me beyond what he beyond father's. We're not in the same line of business, but he he makes me believe I can take on board. Now, I came into a saturated market. There's actually no market that is not saturated. The southern market, when you think about it, I mean, we are in a commoditized space. Everybody's doing the same thing. So, what a smart person does is get into that space, identify gaps, and then the innovation occurs. So, innovation is not necessarily something brand new, it's something done better or more excellently, right? So, when I got into the space, there were questions all around me. They will continue to be crutches, or we stay innovating, we stay making ourselves relevant, right? And my husband is extremely supportive. He's, the support system for me that doesn't waver. Outside of my family, right? My siblings and my parents, my husband is rock solid support system. And the interesting thing is that, nobody sees him. Yeah, you don't see him who is on the board, right? And he comes with several years of experience in the pulpit, right? He brings on his experience and counsel, corporate governance. It's just amazing, and I am truly blessed to have him living on this journey. It's what home home.
I love it. Where you're going to, the person you get married to is as important as where you're going to.
Absolutely. So they either enhance you or they drain you.
Yeah. And it's really beautiful to hear you say that. Before we wrap up this conversation, is there a question that I did not ask you that you would want to share with our viewers? Just before I ask you the final question.
So the current space, the current economy, I think that, for like few people who have come onto the space and are amplifying, and the value, lending their voices and drawing attention to the value of care, right? I see that, I think that more attention should be paid to the quality of care. Now, it is time that and people understood uh, that there are a lot of women that are not just falling off the radar, that are crushing under the burden of care. Now, people talk about autoimmune diseases being one of the resultant, one of the outcomes of this burden. You would be shocked at the experiences that women have on this path of seeking out reliable care, right? A lot of women have been asked to leave paid employment by their spouses, so that they can cater to their children. Now, if that is what a mom wants, it's absolutely fine. If that's a decision that you're comfortable taking. I mean, even moms who stay at home full time, they ask for childcare just for a couple of hours, just to breathe. So that service is needed, right? Which is why, we go ahead and we curate childcare for different needs and for different seasons of their life. Before, people used to laugh at our daily flowers. People did not imagine that you can actually structure um childcare outside of parents or mom, the skills you look character. I just want childcare for a couple of days. For a couple of hours, you can absolutely get it. The important thing is I get care when I need it. Because our needs are varied. Our experiences are diverse. Our realities are different. And I think that it, it is the least that we can do to understand that and support this woman.
So for one who wants to reach out to the baby lamb, how are they supposed to do that?
And we have social media platforms on Instagram, Facebook, we have a website, www.thebabylounge.com.ng, and we have, our contact numbers on our website. We are quite, um, I just say we're almost running 24-hour service, but it is not quite 24 hours, but you can be sure that if you reach out, someone is definitely going to connect with you.
Just as we wrap up this conversation, we're done. And my final question to you would be, what is your word of encouragement? I know you know that it's a lot for women. They go through a lot, working, taking care of the family, just basically holding it down and reaching from the question I asked you, who takes care of you? What is that thing you would say to nursing mothers out there on the final note?
I would say it's not as gloomy as it looks sometimes. People often say to me, for thinking lounge, how come I didn't hear about you?
Yeah,
Before now.
I didn't too.
Yeah, and I keep thinking, how else can we? It's not enough to have a great service. You have to be accessible to people who need that service. So, a mom, there's so many moms as we speak that are in distress, that are totally clueless of the next steps in regards to childcare. If only they knew. So it gives them also to, people often say that we need government support. Fantastic. But while we are waiting for government to align on the core agenda, there's so much more we can do to support ourselves. The churches, the mosques, those are the lowest hanging fruits. And this is me challenging churches that have a recent children's churches. These children's churches, life follow Monday to Friday. Think about it. They're only used on Sundays. Now, it's just about bringing a workforce, a skilled, experienced care workforce into those spaces to render the services to the mom. I guarantee you that those facilities will be filled out by the congregation first, because there are women in that congregation that need the service. And because the infrastructure is already there, it should be subsidized. So we're not talking about childcare that is top-notch quality. We're talking about childcare that is accessible, affordable too, right? And the way to make it affordable is to subsidize it the way we can. So the churches and the mosques can step in. I tell you that this is something that can be done next day. It's something that can be done next day because the spaces are already there. The structure is already in place. Now, churches are looking and mosques are looking for how to impact, the community where they're located. That's the easiest way too. I'm looking for childcare. I live in a certain neighborhood. My church has a daycare, or the church in my neighborhood has a daycare.
It's really revealing. And I want to say thank you very much. It has been absolutely beautiful sitting down and just basically listening to you talk about this. It's quite interesting the impacts that you're making. To see that you would basically or practically see a child from uh, maybe not from birth, from that little stage down to the part where they grow up and you're like, what's going on here? It's really beautiful. But most importantly is the impact you're making, the lives that you're saving. Trust me, there are people that are basically they are alive, but just basically moving around, and it looks like, oh, they're alive, but then they're not living. But with opportunities like this, with places like this, you just allow parents have bursts of fresh air, and it's really beautiful. Thank you very much. It's been amazing talking to you. And this is where would let the curtain fall on today's episode of Rapping Nick. My name is Esther Melo. Keep watching Rapid TV.